Hello again, everybody. I'm Tim Brant. We mentioned at the top of the show that the Michigan Panthers were 7-5, still on top in the Central Division in the standings. But there are some serious problems. They have lost 5 of their last 6 ball games. It's been said to every problem there is a solution. But when I visited the team out in Michigan this week, I found that not to be the case. Everybody seemed to have an answer for what was taking place and what was wrong. You know, quite frankly, this is a ball club that has experienced the highs of a championship season, and now they are going through the lows of a losing streak. They are struggling. They are in serious problems, and we tried to find out what those problems really are. Things couldn't have been better for Michigan at the end of last season. Electrifying crowds, the Panthers rode their blend of young, talented, seasoned veterans to the first ever USFL title. But then came the spoils of success. This spring, quarterback Bobby Hebert didn't report to camp. He wanted his 5-year contract renegotiated. There were other problems with Chris Godfrey, Clarence Chapman, and Tom Dornbrook. But even with the initial danger signs, the club pulled together. Bobby Hebert did return in time for the opening, and Michigan rolled to 6 straight wins against no defeats. There were signs of the brilliant play that brought the championship to the Motor City. However, the Panthers' record was deceiving. 3 of the wins were against expansion clubs. One was against the hapless Blitz of Chicago, and another over the inconsistent Wranglers of Arizona. Michigan struggled against its own mistakes, and yet the Panthers were undefeated and still together. Then on April 1st, disaster struck. All-pro wide receiver Anthony Carter suffered a severe break in his left arm on this play. At the time, I don't think anybody realized the devastating effect his loss would have on the team. AC was in pain, but it was his teammates who would suffer. The following week, the Panthers lacked confidence, lacked precision, and turned the ball over 8 times to Oklahoma. There was a strong wind and a heavy rain, but there was also a total breakdown in the execution which had made this club the class of the league. The Michigan Panthers high-flying act was rudely brought back to earth in a 2017 loss to the Outlaws. Later that same week, running back Ken Lacey announced that he was jumping leagues, having already signed with the Kansas City Chiefs of the NFL. May 6th, another injury to a key player. All-pro strong safety David Greenwood damaged his knee against Houston. The former high jumper underwent knee surgery, and now he is lost for the rest of the year. Now, with just 6 weeks remaining in the regular season, there is even the possibility that the Panthers won't make the playoffs. There has to be a turnaround, and it has to happen quickly. But when I visited the team in Michigan last week, head coach Jim Stanley didn't want to talk about injuries and certainly didn't want to use contract disputes as an excuse.
I think that's kind of a cop-out right now to say that's why you lose a game. Or, you know, each player is under contract. Each coach is under contract. And I think anytime you take the field, you got to take the field with the intentions of playing your best and doing your best and going out there for one purpose, and that's to win. And I think if you do less than that, that you don't have the character that it takes to be a winner. Now, our backs are against the wall right now as far as a lot of things goes, but I think that we do have good character, we do have good leadership, and it's not how you start a race, it's how you finish the race that counts.
There is a lot of soul-searching going on right now in Michigan, and the players are tired of outside analyzation.
People, you know, they first said it's contracts, and then they said it's Lacey signing, and then Chris going. You know, everybody's trying to pinpoint blame, and I think when that happens, people really take a hard look at those people. Bobby coming out of camp, and John Corker may be dissatisfied. Whoever else, you know, who wants to renegotiate. Man, I've looked at those guys all year, and I don't see a problem when we suit up and go out there to play. You know, I mean, it's not something that's affecting their game.
All of a sudden, it's blown out of proportion about the negotiations, the dissension among the players, and I don't really think it's that serious. I just think it's something that the players can take care of themselves if we just go ahead and bear down and play the type of football that we're capable of playing, because we've shown as of a year ago that we're a championship caliber ball club.
Even though the Panthers have lost 5 games, they are still the leaders in the Central Division. They've taken their hard knocks, and they know there are problems, but no one player has the solution. They say they are simply trying to hang together. Club president Vince Lombardi looks at it philosophically.
Football and competitive athletics are games of lessons, and I think the big lesson, and one they learned last year, was that if you're going to win a championship, if you're going to get to the top, you have to work for it. You have to pay the price, so to speak. I think probably the most difficult lesson to learn in competitive athletics and football in particular is having paid the price to get to the top, you have to pay the price to stay there. And that's a very difficult lesson. Maybe given the youth of this club, it's one they haven't learned yet. And a lot of championship teams don't learn that lesson.
Whether the Panthers learn this lesson in time with only 6 weeks remaining in the regular season is still a haunting question in Michigan. However, there are other questions involved here. We talked about the contracts, we talked about injuries, we talked about the intestinal fortitude involved, that, as Vince Lombardi said, of paying the price. But as I left the Michigan practice facility, I had the distinct feeling deep inside that behind those closed doors, behind the locker room, that there may be some finger pointing. That's natural, I guess, in a losing situation. But there was also that lack of winning attitude. It had disintegrated into a feeling of maybe restlessness. That's the word. I hope for the sake of everyone that's not the case. But with everything that's been said, and even more that's been written, it has caused a distraction that the players are finding very difficult to overcome. Satchel Paige once said, "Don't look back. Something might be gaining on you." Right now, I've got the feeling the Michigan Panthers are looking over their shoulders, and they are losing ground rapidly in the Central Division.